Alright, what's the motherfucking deal? We're going to test to see, hopefully we get a better response today than it's been starting off as of late. We'll see what happens. Welcome to The Den. If you're not familiar with The Den is the best conversation on the internet. And the reason why The Den is the best conversation on the internet is because of you wonderful people who join in on each and every conversation and share your input and just provide such wonderful perspectives. So, I thank you for joining today. I hope you're having a wonderful day up until this point. Excuse me. The desk clean here. I just be cluttering shit up on this desk, and then when it be time to operate, I'll be having too much shit all in the way. No, thank you for joining this afternoon. And again, like I said, I hope everything is going wonderfully in your world. I hope life is treating you decent, at least. You know, everybody ain't gonna get it good. Some people gonna get it decent. Some people gonna have it great. It's just that way. But today we're gonna talk about colorism and the impact that it has on people, certain communities, society, TV, media. I guess TV is media. Movies, music, all of these things. And how does it impact your life? Excuse me. So let me hit this magic button here while we're getting this going, and we'll see who we have joining us today. Just get this dilly-dally out the way. All right. I see my name. I see Bad and Bougie KM Live. What's the motherfucking deal? Shannon Jones. What's the motherfucking deal? And Miss Me. The two biggest purveyors of post-paid pistachios. Shannon Jones and Miss Me. Interesting. Very interesting. Shout out to Professor Trill Sweetberry. What's the motherfucking deal? Only one lie. Always good to see you. Glad that you could join us today. Kay Grace. What's the motherfucking deal, Miss Grace? How are you today? And Kenneth. There you go. Kenneth. So there's Kenneth. All right. It is what it is. No, you only get so much Scotty. All right. Scotty's a busy dog. He doesn't like stopping and posing for photos and things like that unless he's properly bribed. So let's talk about it. Excuse me. Because both of y'all be on some where my pistachios at after y'all be getting paid the pistachios. Y'all be trying to come back and get more. I ain't get my pistachios. Pistachios been paid out. You know what I'm saying? That's why niggas can't get no reparations, because it's going to be niggas come back to I ain't get my check. We had 2-3 checks. Can't trust y'all niggas. But seriously, let's talk about colorism, and then we're going to get y'all opinions on it, and we'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. Now, if you're asking, what is colorism? That's a very interesting question myself, you know what I'm saying? And the way I perceive colorism is just that people treating a certain skin tone or shade, maybe with a little bit more admiration than others, if you know what I mean. So, excuse me. And what I mean by that is, so you have people who have preferences, I believe. But then I think you have people who do have a different reaction when it comes to people of different skin tones. And so what I mean by that is, say you could have two chicks that look exactly the same for the most part. One just being a lighter skin tone and then the other being a darker skin tone. You have a lot of guys who would prefer, for whatever reason, the lighter skin tone. I think colorism is big in a lot of communities. I guess everything is communities of colors these days, since everybody's a POC. I think that colorism is a big thing in communities of color. We've been talking about what's been going on in the DR. And in the DR, that the darker skinned people have to walk around with papers. I remember someone mentioning that. Otherwise, you're getting shipped to Haiti, We can talk about it in our own communities again, because this is something I want to get into in this conversation today. I'm gonna keep it all the way 103. That's all I got. I got a little extra 3 for y'all. I can't give y'all, 200. But what I mean by that is even in America, in black communities, I know in Asian communities there are darker Asians that get treated a certain way. In Mexican communities, I know that darker skinned Mexicans get treated a certain way, or there's a stigma attached. And these are facts. You can feel how you want to. But we say all this stuff because, especially, like I say, well, I hate the term POC, but you can say minorities, you say whatever. And we talk about, oh, it's white people doing this to us, and they treat us this way and that way. But let's be 100 with ourselves. Let's be real with ourselves. That whatever these backgrounds you come from, Asian, Hispanic, black, I'm sure there's others, that even in our own communities, people of a certain shade or a darker shade get treated a certain way. I talk about dark-skinned women generally doing a lot more of the crazy stuff in the communities. We talk about blonde hair and colorful makeup and a lot of these things. You see a lot of the stories where a lot of crazy stuff that's happening in the black community, it's generally darker skinned women, or you see the fights or whatever, it's usually darker skinned women that they put out there. And in one aspect, you have to be in control of yourself. It just is what it is. You are responsible for yourself. But I can't say, like we was talking briefly about Bagel Boss last night, I can't say I feel bad for Bagel Boss in a sense, because he's been treated like that his whole life, and not say the same thing about darker skinned women. Darker skinned women have not been given preferential treatment, even in our own communities. You know what I mean? Even in our own communities. So, think about it. Think about the majority of them when you see these pictures, like we were doing the pictures with the July 4th stuff, right? It was, the crazy hair was on a bunch of darker skinned women. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because that's how they get attention. Otherwise, they don't feel, niggas always saying, oh, she light skinned, she exotic, she mixed with this. I mean, anybody, you ask any, black female, tell me about you, I'm mixed with this. They're like, man, be your fucking self. I hate hearing that shit. I'm mixed with this and I'm mixed with that. Nah, nigga. You just you. Be okay with you being you. But I understand it because it's the competitive nature of women. And I'm not going to make this all about women. I'm not going to turn this into women bashing. But I know that women are competitive for attention. It can start out in high school or whatever it may be. And, when you start wanting a little attention and affection from men or whatever it is that you got going on, and you start seeing maybe the lighter skinned girls, oh, you guys are talking about that, or she's this or she's that, and you wonder what's wrong with you, And so I don't know I think dark skinned men, they get a certain stigma, but I don't think we deal with it on that same level. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, President Trump, he didn't do anything that they didn't say about themselves. No, let me rephrase that. Now, if he would have left out, go back to where they came from, he basically played. And I'm not saying he should have said it was a stupid move, but he finessed. I'm gonna tell you why he finessed that in a minute. Remind me to come back to that Trump comment. But all he did was jump into a spat that they were having themselves, and I'm gonna tell you why. That's why the Democrats won't win shit, because there's too much infighting. But getting back to this is something I've always noticed. And again, this is not me picking on anybody. This is facts. And I mean, if you feel differently, call in when we open up the line and say so. But it seems like darker skinned women it's like they go above and beyond to feel like they have to get the attention of men or society or whatever it may be. When you look at it, a lot of the times it is darker skinned women. Now, I'm not counting out trust me, I've seen plenty of light skinned ratchets, right? Plenty of light skinned ratchetivity in my day and time, So it's like, okay, well, Miss Bad and Bougie, I will be expecting a call when we open up the line. But this is what I'm telling you, think about, who do you see primarily wearing the pink hair or the extremely blonde hair. And then you may say, well, maybe it's more noticeable because the color contrast of the skin. Okay, and you may have a point there. But when you look around and you see a lot of this stuff, it is what it is. Now, there are a lot of people who want to crave to be a different way. Think about it. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that there's like I won't call it an epidemic, but there's a big deal going on like in Jamaica where they're using this shit called cake soap, right? Cake soap. And you're like, well, what the fuck is cake soap? Cake soap is like this product that lightens the skin. You know what I'm saying? And these people are turning like Michael Jackson white. Look at Sammy Sosa. It's a lot of people who are doing this crazy stuff, right? It's a lot of people who are doing this crazy shit to their skin, and they love it. What makes, I get, and they admit it. They say I get more attention. The women say, oh, I get more attention. They think I'm almost white, or they think it's this mentality. That's what man, look, I won't even put some regular cake and some regular soap on the counter together, much less use some shit called cake soap to lighten my skin. I'm not with the shit. I love being me, and this is what you got to understand. And I'm telling you, it's a mentality, because my sister, like I said, my mom was married when she had my sister. They split up. Then she married my dad, and then so we have different fathers in that aspect. That's my father, but her dad looked like fucking Smokey Robinson. I ain't gonna lie, that nigga was light skinned though. He was light skinned dude. She was light skinned. My mom, she's kind of I don't know if you call it caramelish color, maybe or so. To me, caramel is not light skin. There's some women who I'm caramel, I'm light skin. No, the fuck you not. You fucking like baby brown. So, because this is motherfuckers, if they feel like they just a little bit lighter than dark, oh, I ain't dark skinned. It's like, I'm telling you, it's a sick mentality. But me, I was dark skinned. I'm dark, I don't give a shit. But when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, I want to be light skinned. My sister get this. And it's not even that, it's just, I thought that there was a difference. But then probably once I got out of elementary, maybe 4th, 5th grade, and I started, I don't want to be no fucking light skin. Y'all niggas be bruising easy and all that other shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to do with none of that shit. Yeah, all kind of bleaching shit. There you go. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know if it's banned here or not. I don't know what they got going on. But it's a lot of motherfuckers that's doing this shit. It's a lot of motherfuckers probably homemade doing the shit. Like, people are willing, and this is what I'm saying, is like niggas got to stop with the nonsense, because we're willing to put chemicals into our body to look different, because we there's so much self-hate within the community to be something that you're not. Like, fuck all the bullshit outside the community that people are alleging that this, and this. How can you worry about what other people are thinking when you ain't fixing yourself? You willing to put chemical damage in your hair because you want it to look a certain way, these chemical agents on your skin to make it look just a little bit lighter. Oh, and motherfuckers be saying, oh, it's for blemishes. No, it ain't for no motherfucking blemishes. It's for blackness. You trying to get rid of the blackness. But, go and put just various colors of the rainbow in the hair, looking like Skittles, motherfucking Oreo dudes and shit like that. People do things for attention if they feel like they're not getting it in a certain way. And that's fine, man. It's fine, I guess. If that's who you are, that's who you're going to be. Do what you got to do. But don't let attention be your downfall. Don't do these stupid things just for attention. Speaking of attention whores, y'all saw Boom just got beat up, got his jaw broke, I think on both sides. I was wondering what happened to that nigga, but apparently it is what it is. So, like I said, I'm going to say a few more things and I'm open up the line here so you guys can call in and share your thoughts. But my thing is this. Look, you two don't want to put these conversations out anymore. You two don't like me no more. But my thing is this. Just ultimately, in my perspective and what I viewed, because light-skinned women get treated a certain way in our community in particular, I don't think they go as far and beyond to do certain stuff. Now, I think once they get to a certain stage and they may not have the ultimate power of lightness, then they start adding some shit and then start doing a little bit of crazier shit. I think that dark-skinned women in general do more attention-seeking things. I think that there is more of a psychological impact as a whole. I'm not going to say on every one. I mean, if you have confidence in yourself and you have understanding of yourself, then you're going to embrace it. But because of the way our communities are, the way we treat stuff, we are the ones that put these lighter skinned people on a pedestal. Look, they light skinned chicks, they dark skinned chicks. My personal preference is dark skinned chicks. It ain't no motherfucking difference. It's just you get too rough with them in the bed, they might bruise up. Then they gonna try to hit you with a case if they get mad at you. So y'all better chill out. Y'all better get you a dark skinned chick and call it a day. Let me stop talking shit, man. But I'm open the line. We're gonna have some discussion. I ain't gonna try to hog all the discussion. Y'all be saying, you be talking too long, Honcho. I wanna call in and give me some pistachio. That's all y'all really want. Y'all don't even want to talk to me. Y'all just want my pistachios. I don't know. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know, Shannon just commented on something, but I will no longer accept Shannon's comment as a heterosexual black woman. I don't believe those statements. Shannon be on some other shit. But yeah, think about it. And that's a very good point. Think about it. What's the first thing a motherfucker got to say, especially black? Like I said, I don't know what they say in Asian communities. I don't know what they say in Hispanic communities. And so if you are of any of those communities and you've seen something or you have input, go for it. But the Asians do it too. The Asians do it too because they have lighter skinned Asians. They call it classy Asian, trashy Asian. The darker skinned field Asians. They got the rice making Asians. All them, like, what I forgot which ones. It's like Japanese, Chinese, or your favorite, the Vietnamese and the other Mises and Mises, Taiwanese or whatever. They're not looked upon as favorably. But think about it. The first thing that someone says, think about it. Think about it when you get into it with somebody. Well, if you're not dark, you wouldn't know. But even if you've seen somebody, what's the first thing you've seen two black folks say? Or let's say it's a man and a woman, right? And they have a dispute or don't like each other. The first thing one of them is gonna call the other, depending on who's lighter or dark, unless you got two light-skinned people sissy fighting. Yeah, but I'm throwing shade at you light-skinned people. It's a battle within us. But your black ass, you know what I'm saying? Or your ass so black, you so this, and it's used as an insult. Think about it. DeMarcus, you will come in at that time, right? But that's what I'm saying. So think about it. Black folks, that's the first thing you use. Oh, your black ass. You black in the motherfucker. Look at this black ass nigga. Oh, this nigga black as hell. Oh, this nigga been in the sun. He black as shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we sit here and we talk about other people we talk about ourselves more than anybody. We insult ourselves more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? Black ass for any black complexion. You know what I'm saying? If you fighting a teenager. I fight kids too, goddamn. Look, I was fighting when I was a teenager. I was fighting grown men. They can get the same respect. You want to act grown? You can take this grown man ass whooping. But seriously. But that's the sad thing, because it'd be grown men now. Man, I'm only 20-something. 20-something, bitch, you fucking grown. What is you crying? That's what's wrong with this fucking, whatever that generation is. I'm only 25. That's fucking grown, nigga. What are you talking about? 25, that's about as good as it get. You on your way down now. Childish mentalities. But all I'm saying is that these are true, man. Yeah, think about it. Like exactly. The fucking don't be a menace. That was a whole scene. But the funny thing about that is it's true. That's how we as black folks, we handle each other. Like I said, again, I can't speak for the Asian community. I just know that there is a level of colorism within the Asian communities. I know that there is a level of colorism within Hispanic communities, lighter skinned Hispanics compared to darker skinned Hispanics, Mexicans, whatever you want to call them. Again, I don't know about too many other cultures and how they get treated, but I'm sure that there is, and it's within the communities themselves. So if we treat ourselves like this in our own communities, well, what do you expect people outside the community to do, or how to respond, or you know what I'm thinking, like that? Look at you tanning and shit. I ain't finna deal with that. I'm just finna give me I can't tan, I'm black. Just go give me a nice even coat of blackness, and I love it. I embrace it. I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm with the shit. I ain't really tripping on none of that shit. But again, like I say, but there are people who are not as strong-minded. There are people who are caught up in society's views and saying, well, society thinks this is beautiful. Society doesn't like doesn't think I am the definition of beautiful. And guess what? Fuck that. Who gives a fuck? That's the problem with people. People want to be mainstream. They want to be liked by everybody. It's not about being liked by everybody. As long as you got that one person that really cut for your motherfucking ass, that's all the fuck that matters. We got to stop wanting to be liked and loved by everyone. I don't give a shit about that shit. You know what I mean? If you don't like me, fuck it. I mean, what the fuck I'm supposed to do about it? You know what I mean? So I don't really give a shit about that shit. And yes, that is true. And I think that people underestimate that. My name. And so again, I want y'all to call in. I want y'all to share your experiences personally. If you are lighter, darker, do you think that you receive a certain type of treatment versus, someone else? I know men, especially. Like I said, I know men. Man, this is being honest. That y'all say we don't ever talk about, but we do. Men, black men, will show preferential treatment the majority of time to lighter skinned women. This is a fact. It is what it is. Because we've had these conversations amongst niggas, men, barbershop conversation, all kind of shit. I remember back in the day, we used to be the conversation about Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown. Niggas swore up and down Lil' Kim was it. I, personally, was Foxy Brown. Niggas thought I was throwed up. Foxy Brown, woo, 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 woo. Man, look. Fuck with y'all talking about you can't sell me shit. Now, they both look crazy as shit now, but back then, you couldn't tell me nothing. I wasn't trying to hear no shit about no fucking plastic Lil' Kim. It was all Foxy Brown. But my thing is this, though. There is a bias amongst ourselves. I think women even treat other women, because women judge other women, just be real about it. And they see the attention that other women get, because women do these things for attention. Women go get these nice dresses and nice purses and clothes. They don't do that for men. Don't give a fuck about that shit. They do that to impress other women. So that means women are watching what other women are doing. Anytime a celebrity go and wears some particular dress, it ain't men going out there, but I want to see my wife in this dress that I saw on the red carpet. No, it's women going and Googling where she get this dress from or where she get this style from, and we want to try to get that. Now, all of y'all, it ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Y'all bet not do it. Y'all bet not do it. So that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta keep it 100. And sometimes, like I said, I know some of these conversations to certain people can be like, I don't want to. Excuse me, pardon me. I don't want to hear it. I don't like what he's talking about. Don't make me feel good. You have to have the tough conversations. It's very important to have tough conversations. And this ain't even really a tough conversation. It's just being honest. I mean, it's just the way the world works. But then when you have those conversations, you see it from a realistic point of view, and you understand how to operate better, period. I mean, that's just how it works. And so, like I'm saying, I want y'all to, before I do all this, I'm talking all this shit, but I ain't even got the mic set up, because somebody gonna call in and be like, I can't hear you, Honcho, are you there? Now look, see, this the pistachio hunter themselves. We already know this is just a pure pistachio call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening or this afternoon?
You're an awful person, Honcho.
Why am I awful?
Bringing up all these emotional memories.
There ain't nothing emotional about it. Talk about these emotional memories that you've had about this topic.
Oh my God, I've been the target of some cruel jokes because of my skin color. Mm-hmm. Mostly by my older sisters.
And what is your skin color?
We're close, but she was a bitch.
That's tough.
I'm very dark.
Okay. Jokes. So your own family, your own sister has used your skin tone, just weaponized your skin tone against you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Okay. Like, she would make some jokes. Like, she would say that if I was to stand in a dark room and close my eyes, nobody would see.
And how did that impact you? Did that make you sensitive to not having sensitive skin in that sense, but did it make you sensitive to your skin or how others perceived you when you were growing up?
Yes, because even though her jokes to her weren't meant to be cruel, they were just meant to be teasing. They would become cruel because when she would say them in front of strangers, then other people would start making crueler jokes. And then it's humiliating when people are laughing at you and making fun of you. Especially when you're a little kid and you got grown adults saying shit like that to you.
That's sad. That's sad. So, is this something that you still deal with today, or are you comfortable in your skin today? Like, how do you look at that now? In retrospect.
I'm comfortable in my skin compared to what I used to be, but it's only recently that I've learned the hard way to just be comfortable in my skin and love my skin and everything.
So, like, what was something that helped you kind of transition into loving your skin?
It was just when I got older. Just as I got older and I got wiser, and I just realized, you know what? Why the fuck do I care about making other people happy who don't respect me and don't like me for my skin color? And then a lot of times, and as far as like entertainment goes, the women that are getting the most push are women who are fair skin colored.
And what is fairer skin colored? What does that mean?
Well, women who are like I said, in today's media, women who are Cardi B's complexion or Beyonce's complexion, Rihanna's complexion.
Well, why do you think that is?
It's just what's in right now. It's just like back when J-Lo was popular when she first came around, and everybody was like that light-skinned women. J-Lo's complexion were popular. So when you had all these girl groups like 3LW, those were the girls who were pushed to the forefront while they had that token black girl that was like in the back.
Interesting. Maybe that's just the type of chicks the producers want to fuck with, because all these people getting on through some nefarious methods. So I don't know, but like I said, I do think that there is a thing. I do think that, even if you look at what was the Beyonce group, Destiny's Child, right?
Yeah.
And everybody loved it. I don't think Beyonce's. I thought Kelly Rowland was finer than Beyonce personally. That's just my opinion. Okay, I still believe that. You can disagree or whatever.
Yeah, but Kelly Rowland would be in the back, while all the lighter skinned girls were up front. Kelly Rowland was in the back, while everybody else who was lighter skinned is up front.
Kelly Rowland was still the finest. Just you gotta use your eyes. You gotta dig through the cow culture. What's the motherfucking deal? Self-made man.
But yeah, a lot of that self-hate, it stems from childhood.
Okay. But so would you say that it comes from more of our own people or outside of the community? Who do you think?
It comes from our own people mostly.
Oh. Okay.
Because, like I said, I date both black men and non-black men. And the funny thing about it is, most black men that I've dated have been sort of colorist, or told me that if you would be more beautiful if you were this color, or you were lighter skinned. But non-black men seem to love my dark skin and natural hair a lot more than black men do.
Interesting. And that's something I've noticed too. Cause when we had that.
When I told you my hair story.
I wasn't gonna put your hair story out there. I was just gonna say about the interracial conversation. But hey, if you want to put the hair story out there, that's
Nah, I've already told you.
But what about the people? The people may not know. Now they want to hear the hair story. See, look, I see them in the chat. They want to know what happened to the hair story. Now you got to tell it. You done brought it up. You got to tell it.
Okay. Like I said before, a dark-skinned black man who I was trying to impress and who I was with for a very short amount of time. the type of women that he usually dated were usually light-skinned women that had the fake hair weaves, the fake nails, and all that shit from head to toe. So I damaged my own hair I damaged my hair, basically trying to make my hair more appealing to him because he did not like my natural hair.
And how long did that whole situation last?
Only a couple of months. Because, like I said, it was a very short time that I was with him.
That's
And as you get older, you start to realize that a lot of these things don't matter and you don't stress about it anymore. Mm-hmm. You're like, why the fuck am I with him? He doesn't like me for being me.
And that's the thing, and that's what people got to realize. If somebody wants you to change something up just to entertain their company, guess what? They don't like you for you. Say fuck them and move on. But I mean, you were young and you made a bad decision, and hey, it is what it is. You live and you learn. Because I think sometimes it.
But I was a teenager when I started doing this, and I wish that I would. What I know now, I wish I would have knew back then.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have damaged my hair the way I did.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have had to get it cut off and act a certain way that was not me in order to get his attention or get affection from him.
God damn it, see, look, we're talking about them light skin, they go Wise, with that light skin oppression. Come in the chat with the light skin oppression. What's the motherfucking deal, Wise? Okay, so are there any other circumstances in which you felt like, you said, your sister, then, when it came to...
Like, there was my sister, it was my cousin, it was in school because, like I said, when I went to predominantly black schools, the girls that got the most attention from guys in the school were the lighter skinned girls. Like I said, who had the fake weaves and shit from head to toe. Especially the cheerleaders. So when you're a dark-skinned female trying to compete with that, you start acting and behaving a certain way that is not you. Like, a lot of dark-skinned black women start wearing, like in school, like, provocative clothing and behaving in a way that's overly sexual or whatnot in order to get a certain boy's attention and start fucking up your hair.
Well, yeah, that's tough. Okay.
Like putting harmful chemicals and dyes and weaves and all kinds of stuff and sew-ins and gluing shit on your head and everything.
So would you say that if you had the option, would you ever use like a skin bleaching agent like cake soap or whatever that somebody said Black China got some type of bleaching agent? Would you ever entertain using something like that?
I've thought about that. Like somebody handed me a skin bleaching agent, and I've had it in my hand, and I thought about it, but I ended up throwing it away.
Well, good for you.
I ended up throwing it away because I'm like, there's nothing wrong with my skin.
Good. It's kind of like crack. I don't know if it's anything like that.
Just like I had to stop putting harmful chemicals on my hair because there was nothing wrong with my hair to begin with. And that's why I had to cut my hair off and basically start off from basics and grow my hair back out.
Okay. All right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I say, but at least you realize because there's still some women who are probably in their 40s, 50s, and 60s still ain't never learned that lesson. And so, good for you that you learned it early and you're not still falling for the okie doke, And does your family still give you a hard time about your skin tone or anything?
No, my sister doesn't anymore. Like I said, my sister and I are close, but she was a bitch growing up. And I called her Sun Yellow.
It's all right, he gonna bruise these anyway. That's why he ain't gonna play no football because he gonna bruise these goddamn light skinned people.
Well, because when we were growing up, she's not as light skinned as she used to be when we were growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But she was damn near sun yellow when we were younger. Like this was the 1940s or something. She could probably pass for white back then, from how sun yellow she was.
Mm.
She's more of a caramel color now, but she was sun yellow. And I can tell you that I used to think that I wanted to be her. That I wanted to trade places with her and other light-skinned girls in my neighborhood. Because I saw the attention that they were getting.
Yeah.
And it was like, no matter what, it was like, they just got that attention real easy without having to try. And you got to do outlandish things to get that same attention.
I'm not even going to comment on that. Okay. Well, Miss Shannon, appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts with us. And I guess I can give you a little stashio bonus for being the first caller. I think that might be what I do. I might start issuing a stashio bonus for the first caller. But I ain't gonna give it to you because you're gonna say I ain't give it to you and then be coming back in 10 minutes after for some more pistachios. So I don't know about that.
I just don't be seeing you give me my pistachios.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, I say I got my pistachios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll be giving to you your pistachio during the call, and then you come back trying to get some more. But that's a bit. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Miss Shannon, and we're gonna talk about it.
All right. Bye.
You have a good one. Shout out to Miss Shannon for sharing that story with us. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Hello, my Honcho. This is Miss Grace.
Miss Grace, how are you doing today, Miss Grace? It's always so wonderful to hear from you.
Okay, listen. Colorism has been around forever, and people need to just get over it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everywhere you go in the world, the lighter-skinned people are treated better.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I've gone to Africa. I told you my mother said in the Cape Verde Islands, the light-skinned ones marched in the front, the dark-skinned ones marched in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but people need to learn that if you feel that you're lacking in some area, you just have to learn to compensate for it in a positive way, some other kind of way. And the reason why I say positive is that people should be kind and not say I'm dark-skinned, so I'm going to be loud and I'm going to be ignorant, because there is truth to stereotypes. So people tend to think that light-skinned people or white people are weaker some kind of way, and then if you're darker, you have more strength. I don't know if you ever noticed anything like that.
Yeah,
have you?
Yeah, I definitely have.
Yeah, and they do. And so coming out the family and you know I am slim thick. So people tend to push your buttons or push my buttons when I was coming up because they just automatically thought that I couldn't fight. But in our family, that's what we did. The girls fought. We fought. And we liked to fight. If we needed to fight, we would defend the family. Not going to be a bully and start a fight, but we surely would finish it. So I've always had mostly my dark-skinned sisters that wherever I go, they try to challenge to see just how black I was. And there was always jealousy from my darker-skinned sisters until they got to know me and realized that they had nothing to worry about. Because I don't feel that I'm better than anyone, but I also don't feel that anyone is better than me.
Correct.
And I've always been attracted to only dark-skinned men. And myself growing up in this city with a light skin, I didn't have what's referred to as good hair to go along with it. Everyone in the family, they have long hair, the silky hair down their back. I don't have good hair. And I'm going to say it's my hair, so I can call it what I want. I have bad hair. Like a bad kid that doesn't obey you and do what they're told, that's my hair. So people need to stop the bullshit and say there's no such thing as good hair or bad hair. What's the difference between good and bad? A bad kid is one that doesn't act right and doesn't listen and doesn't do what they're told, and that's exactly how my hair is. My father said that my hair had a mind of its own. It did what it wanted to, because I had my African-American father's hair. And then as far as this colorism also, I didn't experience any of this, not up north, until I went down south. I told you the other day that I never heard terms like high yellow, red bone. What are some of the other ones they say down there?
I mean, we in Houston we say yellow bone. So I don't know if it's because people like red bone. I've seen that other places, but down here, we say yellow bone, and people are just kind of like what? And so I don't know if that's a mix of the high yellow and the red bone. But that was
I don't know. But I never heard of things like that growing up north. When I went down south, yes, because I go out and I tan, and my grandfather said, "You mean get out of the sun and don't ruin that pretty skin," because he was very dark skinned. It was down south where the boys or the guys were always after me because of my light skin. You mean, and then the dark skinned women seem to have resented me for it. You mean, so I don't want anyone to think just because we're light skinned that we have it easy. Because I don't fit in with the white people, and sometimes I don't fit in with my own black people. You're rejected from both sides.
So would you say that you felt more pressure from people within the community or outside of the black community?
The black community. Because I'm going to say another thing. My skin is, to a white person, I'm dark.
Yes.
To a black person, I'm light. And it's our own people, because I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. Our black people are hypocrites. They talk about all this love yourself and black is beautiful and this, that, and another. And as soon as they get a shot at, they'll sit there and talk about somebody's black ass and talk about how dark somebody is and how black and ugly. They talk about somebody's nappy hair, and when they get a chance, they will sit there and slap a blonde wig on their head. Not that I think there's anything wrong with it, but they do. They wear the blonde wigs, and as soon as they make a little extra change, they're the first ones in there like Patti LaBelle, slicing off half of their nose. Now think about it. You mean, so they really don't think that their black is beautiful, or they would leave it alone. They try to change all of that. They put relaxers and perms and hair weaves, and they do all that stuff, and they're dyeing their hair blonde. But yet, if some white person goes and they wear dreadlocks, they're going to get mad and say that's cultural appropriation. Well, where did you get the blonde hair from? You know what I mean? I think everybody should be able to copy from different ethnicity groups and ethnic groups and races and things like that. That's the ultimate compliment. But they want to do it, but they don't want anyone else to do it. Let me see what else. I had taken some little notes over here. And like I said, it's in the South, you mean, where my light skin is worshipped. And I don't like that. And my best friend Patty, my very dark skin, she said when I first went down to Fayetteville, she warned the guys out there, don't say that you like her because she's light skinned, because she's one of the blackest people you ever know. I think that's some ignorant ass bullshit. You know what I mean? And they always have to pull out a picture out of their wallet about their cousin's, sister's, brother's, cousin's kid that's light skin or got blue eyes or light hair. All of the African Americans seem to have a story like that. Nobody asks them about it, but they all have a story. And it almost sounded like, you mean, yeah, I like black people because I have a black friend. One of my best friends is black. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I have people in my family that are very light skinned or have blue eyes, and they're bragging on it. Yeah. The same thing when they say they're Cherokee Indians. I told you that before. You know what I mean? They said because we Cherokee Indians have high cheekbones. Have you not seen some of the Africans? There's lots of people, lots of ethnic groups that have high cheekbones. Yes. It's not just Cherokee Indian. But they will ride with that first and talk about that Cherokee Indian tribe and not care about mentioning any African tribe. And if they really wanted to find out what African tribe they came from, all they got to do is do their DNA. And they're talking about all this black stuff. I hardly ever run into black people that take vacations and go to Africa or want to go there to live. They go every place else. They can't stand themselves, and it gets on my nerves, Honcho. It really does.
I agree.
So, and then I've also run into guys that liked me because they didn't want to deal with white women. That they figured, okay, I'm not going to date outside of my race, so I'll get a light-skinned black girl because that would be like the best of both worlds.
That's a very interesting point that you made there.
Yeah, I've had that a lot. So, we have our battles. You know what I mean? I hate when my own sisters or women that don't know me feel intimidated or think if I walk by their man that I'm going to want their man or something like that. I never try to get anybody's man in my life. You're looking at somebody's man is like looking at a tree. But they start getting all paranoid, and then they start getting mean, and don't let them have some alcohol in them. Because then it really comes out. If I'm kind or I'm nice, if I don't want to do certain things, I've been accused of being afraid of the white man. It's like, if the white man's going to put me in jail, hell yeah, I'm afraid. I'm not going to do certain things. But it's tough. It was tough. It's not tough now for me because I've learned to deal with it, and I don't care if somebody doesn't like me, so be it. It's your loss. And Shannon, don't worry about your dark-skinned girlfriend. Baby Shannon, she's beautiful. And her personality is adorable. But I can understand what she would go through being dark-skinned. To have our own people treat you that way. Oh, and then the oldest ones in my family are full-blooded Cape Verdean. So my brother Leroy had the long, beautiful hair, and when he came up, he called me and my last two sisters, the last three belonged to my father, he used to call us three little nappy heads. And yeah, come here, you three little nappy heads. But we got used to it, and we giggled. It didn't damage me or anything like that, but we were considered the three little nappy heads. I grew up in the city where black people have the mocha complexion and the green eyes, and the silky hair. I was half African American. I did not come out with that silky hair, nor do I look like them. I'm light skinned, but that's it. I take a lot from my father's side of the family as well as my mother's. But that's about it. Any other questions?
No, ma'am. I think you covered a lot of things. You actually, the statement you made about the black guys who say they don't want to date outside their race, but they'll go get as light-skinned of a woman as they can find. That's a very interesting point that I may expand on that in a little bit, but I find that extremely interesting.
I do. And I've run into several guys that way. It's like the best of both worlds. I don't have to date outside my race, and I don't have to get the dirty look. So all I got to do is get me a light-skinned sister, and boom, I'm still dating a black woman, but she's light.
Yeah,
But I'm going to get off this phone because I was kind of tired. I wish I could have stayed up last night, but I started back to work in summer school, and I come in and I am out like a light. I go to bed between 8 and 9 o'clock every night, and I can catch you if I wake back up.
That might be what I need to start doing. I need to start going to bed early. I got to keep the late night going. But Miss Grace, as always, it's good to hear from you, and I'm glad that you could join us. I really appreciate your input, being able to give us the opposite perspective and some of your experiences. So I thank you for that.
Okay, then. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Miss Grace. This is always so good to hear from Miss Grace. So now we've had two perspectives on opposite ends of the spectrum. So we've had Shannon share her stories from being dark-skinned. We've had Miss Grace share her stories from being light-skinned. And there's a few common factors that we will address here in just a second. Hyde is a racist. She's racist against white running backs and cornerbacks. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this afternoon?
Man, it's your boy
Roman Reigns, the WWE champion or something like that. What's on your mind, man? How you feeling today, man? What's your thoughts on the topic today?
Oh man, you know what? I'll be honest with you, man. This colorism shit, it really pisses me off, man. Yeah, because this is how I think. I'm black. I'm not like, technically, if you want to say yes, I'm light-skinned. But I don't even like to even call myself light-skinned, bro. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we're all black. And that's what we all need to be proud of. But you have people who have different, opinions and have had different experiences. Man, it's crazy, man. Of course I've heard, dark-skinned people have the problem that, light-skinned people get the better. A better of both worlds is always, I want a light-skinned girl. I want this. Light-skinned girls have the hair, this and that. But I've seen the opposite way around, too. I have seen when dark-skinned girls hit on light-skinned girls. It happens on both sides, man. It really does, man. Even, good example, this Ariel shit. They wanted, now, of course, it's a controversy that Ariel ended up being black, but they want Ariel to be dark-skinned. A lot of girls was mad because she was light. You get what I mean? So, that's another issue. Oh, my God, she's white. And if you look at YouTube, man, there's so much hate on YouTube. There's so many of these dark skinned girls, black women making these YouTube channels talking about colorism and saying when they have children, they don't want their dark skinned children to be friends with light skinned children. You know how I hate about black people, Honcho. I hate about my own people. We talk about black excellence and come together, but we hate each other. We literally hate each other. We talk about white people dividing us, and that's the reason why we're in this shithole. But we divide each other. Well, what are we doing here? Like I said, we literally divide each other. Yes, I know it originates from slavery with the light-skinned people in the house and dark-skinned people in the field. But you know what? We can't always go back to slavery and say that is the reason why we're still in this. We have to grow. We have to grow from that, and we haven't shown no improvement in my opinion. We still hate on each other, in my opinion, for no reason. I got a good example. I used to be friends with what was his name? His name was Russell. This was back in this had to be about 7th grade. And I remember talking to Russell, and Russell was light skinned. No, Russell was dark skinned. And man, I say Russell was a cool dude, but he would not mess with dark skinned women for nothing, bro. And I'll be honest with you. I'm a dude, so I'll be honest with you. The finest women after school was dark skinned, to be honest with you. And honestly, that's just a dude thing, Honcho. And he just said, "Oh no, I don't want to mess with dark skin. That's ugly. That's this. They look like monkeys. They look like this. They look like that." Now I have to break it down to you, man, nigga. We all black at the end of the day, bro. And at the end of the day, man, I always say, if a cop pull you over, it don't matter what fair skin you are black to a cop. You are black to any other person, that anybody else see you. You like dark, mixed, blah, 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 you black. Accept that, bro. What did she do for you to hate on her? And TV does a great job of pushing that agenda, of pushing light-skinned women off the bench. I mean, be honest with you, Honcho, how many dark-skinned artists do you know out here right now? Like female dark-skinned artists out here right now that's killing it. Who's the top right now? Who are the top artists right now? Cardi, light-skinned. What's the name? Nicki Minaj, light-skinned. I'm just saying right now. Think about it. All the top artists they push are light. I mean, where's the start to? Shit. There is none because they don't want to push that. TV's done a great job of pushing the hate, and we're continuing it. Instead of saying, nah, we ain't going to do all that. We going to love each other. We going to care about each other. We keep doing that shit, man. I've seen people look at me a certain way, because I might be cool with the teacher, man. Teacher might help me in something. I think, some dark-skinned kids look at me like, oh, they fuck with you till you dark-skinned. What? Man, hell no, nigga. I do my work, nigga. I can talk to the teacher because the teacher know I do my fucking way. That's the fucking reason why. Yeah, you a fucking dumbass. That's why. Yeah. But they take that as, oh, he's light-skinned, so the teacher likes him more. What? Just tiny things that we do to each other to make each other hate each other more. Like the one said before me, we are hypocrites. Black people are the biggest hypocrites in the world, man. We talk about these shootings and these killings, and we kill each other, bro. Kill each other. We talk about white people hating us because of our race and this and that, and we've been the main ones talking about each other's hair, about each other's skin color. It's the number one thing brought up when you don't like another black person. I mean, I understand how some shit gotta be fixed, bro. We gotta go out here and really explain how we are all beautiful. We black people won't improve, Honcho, until we start dying down the issues that we have with each other and moving on to get a brighter future and see what positives we can make. But until then, man, I the hope of black people, I'll always have hope in my people. But the thing is, man, I don't know, man. It's a lot that gotta be done. You got any questions for me, Honcho?
No, I don't really think I do. Senor Roma, I think that I agree with you, so I don't really have too much to add to that.
All right, man. But that's the call, man.
All right. Well, shout out to Roma. I appreciate your call, and you should have some pistachios in your stash.
Oh, I better get my pistachios, nigga, because I haven't got none, bro.
Man, you been getting it.
James wants to steal my shit, so I need some, bro. I'm running low.
Look, I'll see what I can do about that.
All right, man. All right, man. Talk to you later, Honcho.
All right, Roma. Appreciate the call, man.
All right, man. Anytime.
All right. Here's the deal, man, and this is what I'm saying. And then shout out to Miss Grace. She brought a very valid point, And I saw somebody say, well, we were taught the self-hate from the white man, but she talked about going to Africa, and even in Africa, the same deal: light skin in the front, dark skin in the back. Although I do like watching certain videos from Africa. There's some lovely things. And look, y'all, I'm telling y'all, American women got one last shot before I go overseas. I already showed y'all whatever her name was, Uchomba, whatever. There's some others too. She got friends, goddammit. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we got calling in to the den this afternoon?
You got Professor Trill. What's up, Honcho?
Professor Trill, what's the motherfucking deal? Man, what's on your mind this evening or afternoon, whatever time the fuck it is? It's evening somewhere, goddammit.
Oh man, these calls, and you too, Honcho.
Oh, come on, what you got? What you got, Professor Trio? Look, first, I ain't buying that next edition of your book, so you can keep that edition. I'm just gonna get the old one. But what you got, babe? What you got for me?
let's just hit this with some real logic and common sense.
Okay.
First off, let's start off with Miss Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you look like, Miss Shannon. I don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a clue. I see from your little picture you're a dark-skinned woman. Okay? When you're young, people are going to pick at you with your biggest deficit, like the thing that you don't have. They're gonna mess with you about it. So if you're pretty and you black, they're gonna mess with your black part because they know you pretty. That means that they're insecure about something that's with them. They see something that you have as a threat, so they want to pick on your deficiency. That's what happens. So you can convert the colorism to sizes. If you a skinny nigga, if you a short nigga, you know what I'm saying? People gonna talk about you because you skinny or you short. If you a tall nigga or a fat nigga, they gonna pick on that because it's easily something that they can attack you on. That's just what people do. It's what people do. Now, I prefer females of, I guess, around my skin tone. I don't mind a yellow chick. I don't mind a dark chick. She's got to be cute to me. Okay, now, I also look at this colorism shit as just a preference. Say for instance, and the way it sounds like, when y'all talk about, well, you need to, you know what I'm saying, what's wrong with the black skin woman, like Roman was saying, Roman, you were dead wrong, bro. If the dude tell you, I'm looking for a car, and you like, man, that's a good car right there. He's like, yeah, but it's black. I don't want a black car. And you like, well, what's wrong with a black car? He don't like the color black. It's just that simple. Everybody has a preference. Some you women, the same thing. When you wear certain outfits, you know what? I don't look good with this color. This color don't. What's wrong with that color? Well, just in my opinion, it just don't make me feel like it looks good on me. The same thing. It's just a preference. I don't understand what the big deal is. And if the dude don't like you because you dark, ain't shit you could do about it, Shannon. Move around. Go find a motherfucker that fuck with you with the black skin. Who cares?
Now you sound like you about to say with your black ass right there. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's where you was going, but no,
well, look, motherfucker, I done clowned motherfuckers too because it was a dude I went to school with. This nigga name was Clifton McGlory.
Yeah.
This nigga was black than a motherfucker, but everybody clowned him because he was black.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got clowned a lot because I was a nerd, because I was smart, and I had these big, thick-ass glasses on my face. Yeah. It's because they felt insecure that I was smarter than them. Right. But I knew that, so it didn't bother me. You picking on me because I'm smart because you're not. I get that. So just let them try to find flaws in you. That's all they can do. So I never really cared. But that's just me, and I understand some people are more sensitive than others. But a lot of this shit is really easily explained. And if you call it jealousy, that works too. They could be jealous of you for some reason or another. And as far as Miss Grace is talking about, hey, look, some women, and this is a real good point. They know they man. They know what he likes. It might not have been because of your skin color. It might be because you had a fat ass. And every black woman know if there's a girl with a fat ass that's walking in front of you, and you got a real nigga standing next to you, he fits to look at that fat ass. That's just the way it works. It's not always a color thing. Just because you high yellow or you dark skin or whatever. A lot of it is just your features. It's what they know they man like. And if you got a nigga like Honcho and you know he love darker skin and women, if you got a fine chocolate motherfucker standing for you, know this nigga fits to look. Because that's his type. So you feel insecure because she fit more of his type than you do. It's just an insecurity. That's all it is. It's not that simple. The way that y'all trying to blow it all up to be, it's not really that big a deal. People gonna like what they gonna like. I said I prefer girls my color or maybe a little bit lighter. My ex was dark than a motherfucker. Because I liked her. That shit wasn't high on the list of important shit to me. What color or shade she was. I didn't give a fuck about that. I liked her. What was on the inside. So you got a lot of shallow people out here, and they gonna continue to be shallow. And everybody got a little shallowness to them, but I mean, it is what it is.
Okay. So you kind of just basically got to say fuck them people and just do you. You really can't sweat.
Yes,
okay.
Because you can't do shit about it. Like if you tall or short, you can't do shit about that. Now if you skinny or fat, you can try to do something about it. Especially, if you fat, but if you skinny, sometimes there's not a lot you can do about that either.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? You might have some kind of metabolism thing or, some kind of issue that don't allow you to put weight on. You know what I'm saying? And then fat people got some issues, but not as many as the smaller people trying to get bigger. Just being real, coming from a fat person. Being honest here.
Okay.
But, look, people going to be people. They going to judge you regardless. Regardless. They going to find something. And if you just so happen to be sensitive in that area, they gon' hit that motherfucker as hard as they possibly can. Why the fuck is you just sitting there doing nothing?
So I got a question for you. What about the carryover effect? Because I think there's a lot of that. And let me explain what I'm saying. So say, like Shannon said, as a young girl, all the light-skinned girls were getting attention. So then you have, and I'm not saying Shannon, so don't say it was you, Shannon. But then what you'll have certain women, even from a younger age, they'll start doing things that are more outrageous to get attention. Then they'll start harnessing some type of envy towards lighter skinned women, because even though they didn't, they feel like, oh, this woman has done something to me. And so they start, because I've talked to chicks in the past, like I said, I've dated lighter skinned chicks, much lighter. And then chicks who thought they were light, even though they wasn't, but we ain't gonna get into that. But what I've heard from these chicks is that they have all had experiences with darker skinned women trying to bully them, just like Miss Grace said, about the fighting. But I've heard this from lots of fair skinned, I hate the term fair skinned, lighter skinned women. And that they said that dark women try to apply pressure on them. They try to bully them or single them out, treat them a certain kind of way. And so I'm wondering how much of this is people not separating things, and they're just really carried over because they feel a certain way about maybe some other person getting the attention, and so they harness this feeling for everybody, and then they take it out on a certain group, and it just kind of goes from person to person, and this energy keeps getting transferred from one group to another.
Okay, I think I'm getting the gist of what you're saying, but this could be easily explained. Yes, there are stereotypes between lighter skinned black people, and I'm going to say women and men, and darker skinned black people, women and men. The lighter skinned people seem to be the more sensitive, not only to sunlight, but to comments, etc., etc. They have much thinner skin. The darker skinned people tend, as the stereotype goes, to be more aggressive, to give less fucks. You know what I'm saying? And to have a harsher attitude or be more brash and opposing. Okay? those stereotypes exist for a reason. It's because that the light-skinned people get more attention. They feel like they don't have to be as aggressive or do as much to get the attention.
Yeah.
And because the darker people don't get as much attention, they do the opposite. It's pretty simple. It's not that difficult.
Okay.
And if you the one that don't fit the stereotype, come on now, just be real. You know what it is.
Yes. Because I see Miss Bad Bougie. She getting upset. Now it may not apply to you. Your situation may have been different, but
you are an outlier, man.
Yeah, because you can't say
You're
like
an outlier.
If I've heard this from say a few dozen people have said that they're on both sides of it. It mean, hey, well, yeah, I felt like this because of this, that, and the third, and other people say, well, I was treated like this because of this, that, and the third, and then out of this couple of dozen people, one or two says, well, no, that never happened. Well, maybe again, that like you said, it makes you the outlier. It makes you kind of like the exception. And there's no one thing that's going to apply across the board to everybody.
Everybody, exactly.
And so all I'm saying
is, you're going to die someday.
Yeah. We all going to die. Everybody going to die.
And for me, because I'm the exception on some things. Like, most people think that fat people are big, slow, and weak. You know what I'm saying? They have problems doing shit. I'm not none of that. I mean, I'm not the fastest motherfucker. I'm not finna beat you in the 40-yard dash. But within 10 yards, I will grab the dog shit out you. I'm telling you, I will get you. I'll get you in the burst like a motherfucker. But, like, come on, man. And from the stream we had the other day, well, he's screaming all the time, or he's sensitive. He must not have had a father and all this shit. Okay, y'all actually was right on some of them points. All right, but don't just think that because the typical stereotype of the person that talked the loudest is the one that's just making noise because he's scared. I am not that dude. I'm talking loud and noise because I'm passionate about what I'm saying. But if you want to take it on that other level, I will meet you with all the force that I got. I'm not scared of nobody. That's just the fact. So don't get all the stereotypes that's in your head. Don't get it twisted. Because I will surprise you. And some of these people will surprise you. Everybody don't fit the stereotypes. And we all stereotype people. We all guilty of it. But then we turn around and say that, yeah, people shouldn't stereotype other people. Yeah. We all do it. If you just want to be honest, we all do it. Like, come on now. And I said this before. If you watching the news and you hear a story, 2 armed robbers robbed a liquor store and got $67, what color you think them folks is? Then you hear another news report. Husband comes home, finds his wife in bed with the plumber, kills the plumber, then kills his whole family, then kills himself at the end. What color you think that person is?
This is some good water. I ain't got nothing to say.
Stereotype. They exist for a reason.
Yes, this is true.
Now, even though I would challenge y'all to find a black person that pulled that, killed the whole family, and then killed himself, I would challenge y'all to find that because I would love to read that news story.
Man, I'm trying to think because it was one that happened. I want to say a couple of months. I got to figure. I can't remember exactly what because I was talking to my old lady. I'm like, oh man, I know that was somebody white that did that. She's like, no, it was black. I was like, shut the fuck up. We had a real live argument. When she provided the facts, I was just like, I'm so disappointed in my people.
I would have been really interested in reading that.
I'm gonna try to go back and find one. I'm gonna have to ask her. I'm gonna see if I can shoot a message. I forgot what the thing was. It was just like, nah, niggas ain't gonna do no shit like that. And it turned out to be a black girl. I was like, wow, this is interesting. Times are changing.
And for the record, if you want to be 100 about yourself, a lot of this shit, and women, y'all fall for this shit hard. Y'all listen to these slogans or these sayings, and then y'all just want to choose to live y'all life by that. That slogan that black is beautiful is bullshit. You want to know what's beautiful? Beauty. God damn it, because you could be dark and ugly, you could be brown skinned and ugly, and you could be light skinned and ugly. Ugly is across the fucking board. You know what I'm saying? Just because you black don't mean you beautiful. No, it don't. It does not. And you know beauty when you see it. You know it. And if it's a consensus, then that person feels that. They know that they don't have to do as much to feel beautiful or to get the attention. They know, and they act accordingly. There's some beautiful dark-skinned women out here. There are. And then there's some motherfucking trolls. There are. And for the record, I get what you and Roma was trying to say about the dark-skinned girls, and Shannon too, being in the back. Who was the lead singer of Destiny Child? It was Beyonce.
Yeah.
The lead singer goes where? In the front.
Yes.
The lead singer of 3LW was the little crooked teeth, light-skinned girl. She was the lead singer. The
Yeah.
dark-skinned girl was in the back. It wasn't a color issue. It was a talent issue. The one lady, I think we talked about it the other day, Total. She was the ugliest motherfucker in the group. But she had the best voice, but guess what she was? Had her ugly ass out in the front.
That's tough.
But that bitch could blow.
Yeah.
You couldn't deny her talent. That's just all it is. And as a footnote, you talked about Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown. I was always team Lil' Kim.
Mm-hmm.
But if you really want to be all the way real about it, the girl from 3LW, the dark-skinned girl that played Lil' Kim in the movie, she better than both them hoes.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. That's true. I didn't even know that was a chick from 3LW. I'm still.
I didn't either.
Because I've been talking about people been talking about 3LW all day. I'm in this bitch like 3LW. Like I know I remember it, but I couldn't put a visual on anybody's face. I'm gonna have to Googleize it. But yeah, man. So, but do you think it's a difference for men? Because that's something that I brought up when I see Miss Carter saying that. Like, do you think that black men face the same issues, dark-skinned black men face the same issues as dark-skinned women? You think so?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Bro, I got a lot of my niggas is dark-skinned, and I'm probably like the lightest-skinned nigga out of all of my homeboys. Just factual. Some chicks will not fuck with a dark nigga. Oh, nigga, you just too black for me. And some of them, you just too light for me. I only like my men like I like my coffee. Yeah. And you hear some guys say that too. I like my women like I like my coffee. Black, but nothing else in it.
Yeah.
So it's on both sides. I don't know if it's equal. It may be 60-40, 40-60. But yeah, it's on both sides, bro. Okay. Women be choosing the same way. The same way.
Okay.
They prefer a certain skin tone of man. It ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just what you like. That's what you attracted to. If a person don't like the color black, they're not going to buy a black car. It's just not. I'm spending my money on it. It's going to be the color I fucking like it or the color I want it to be. Why in the hell did you get a pink car? Because I like the color pink. Fuck you mean?
Yeah, that's tough. I'm going to talk about the pink car, but if you like it, I love it, man, you know. But no, okay, because I mean, I
don't lie. I seen a pink Lambo one time. That motherfucker was nasty. I would have drove that bitch. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Bitch was clean.
I don't know. I guess maybe my experiences were different or something. Because like to me, I don't feel like, unless maybe I was just oblivious to everything. But I don't feel like maybe I just ain't give a fuck. Maybe that's the difference between because like I say, I don't give a shit. A lot of shit. That shit don't, I guess, get to me. But as far as when it came to dealing with females, it don't ever seem like an issue. It seemed like I got more attention from light-skinned chicks, possibly than dark-skinned chicks. And I wonder how much of it with the dark-skinned chicks was their own, maybe distaste for themselves, maybe feelings or things that they've gone through dealing with dudes. So I don't know if it was an issue with niggas treating them a certain way because they were dark-skinned, or maybe light-skinned women feel like they have more options because, niggas generally are more open to them. But, I don't know what it is. But it's like I said, I've always had more attraction from lighter-skinned women than I've had from darker-skinned women. That's something that I've noticed for the most part.
Part of that is like a slight phobia. Mm-hmm. I've had a girl told me that she wouldn't fuck with me because I wore glasses. And it was because a dude with glasses had raped her mama. So anytime she's seen a dude with glasses, that's what she would think about. I've seen girls that say, I don't fuck with dark-skinned dudes because they the biggest hoes. And then I've seen other girls that say, I don't fuck with light-skinned niggas because they the biggest hoes. They always cheating on niggas. Well, how about he just niggas? And niggas got options. Niggas just go pursue the options. Just because a nigga light-skinned or dark-skinned don't mean that he may or may not have more options than somebody else. Yeah. If a motherfucker is a cheater, he gonna cheat. No matter what skin tone he is. So, you know, and it be like that. And niggas is the same way too. I don't want to fuck with these light skinned hoes because they think they all sedity and bougie and shit. And I mean, come on, ladies, how often y'all hear that?
No.
How often y'all hear that? I don't want to deal with no dark skinned chick, but they be too ghetto. They be all loud. I always want to fight a nigga. All this other shit. When at the same time, them crazy ass light skinned motherfuckers be the first one to swing on you. So it's just well, how about she just that type of chick and the skin color ain't got shit to do with it? That's just the wrapper. What's on the outside? The candy on the inside is the same shit.
Straight up.
That's crazy to me. You can have about 1,000 color M&Ms, but it's still chocolate on the inside unless you got a different brand. The same feeling. So a lot of people just generate the quote unquote phobia.
No.
So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I think some of them are silly, and some of them they actually sound silly to the person, but just in their experience, it just happened to be a so-called trend.
No.
So I don't know.
Okay. I mean, so when it just really comes down to it, it's you say it's more just a personal level. It's a preference thing, and it's maybe a collective vision of this preference or whatever it may be. But it's not so much. You don't think colorism is really a thing like people make it.
Right. That's just how. That's my opinion.
Okay.
You know, y'all opinion may differ. But anyway, I know you're doing the short stream, so I'm gonna get off.
Okay.
I'm gonna holler at y'all later.
All right, that's a bit. Appreciate it, Professor Trill.
All right, man.
All right. Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's a different perspective than what we've had, you know, for the most part. Nothing wrong with that. It's good to have some different insights, some different views. But the thing is, light-skinned niggas, they fight like cue ball boys in the hood, so you got to be careful with them. Why y'all ladies in here attacking Trill? Trill ain't say nothing about you. Why y'all attacking my partner like that, man? What did Trill do to deserve this allegations that he waxing it out? That's terrible. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have called into the den this afternoon?
Ashley.
Miss Ashley, how are you feeling today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. So what are your thoughts on colorism, Miss Ashley? Has this been a situation that you faced in your life?
What, that was colorist?
Yes, colorist. Or first, I guess, how would you identify yourself? Would you categorize yourself as a lighter skin, darker skin? How do you view yourself?
I'm brown.
Okay. So
I'm dark, but not like, I'm not super dark.
Okay. All right. So how would you say that you've been treated by, do you think that your skin tone has had an impact on the guys that you have been involved with?
No, not really. Like, one guy only said something about it, but it's like, oh, okay. No, not usually.
Okay. So that one guy that said something, what was it that he said that, that stood out or whatever his opinion was?
Well, he had just said he didn't want dark-skinned kids. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Because he was he was like really, really dark. And I'm dark too, and I was like, oh. I guess I know what that means. But anyways, he had said that.
Okay. And so do you think that was like some self-hate for himself, or what do you think that the reasoning was behind that logic, that he just didn't want dark-skinned kids?
Well, he said he didn't like being dark. Or, not that he didn't like it, but I don't know. I just think maybe he's had some bad experiences.
Okay.
So.
That's tough. Well, what about you? Does skin tone play a preference in the way you view someone, whether it's somebody you're looking to date or talk to, or a friendship or people that you've interacted with?
No, like, not really. I mean, only, no, not usually. Like, definitely not just interacting with somebody. Like, that would never, ever play a part.
Okay. Okay.
Or, like, dating. I don't really date light-skinned black guys. But I do date, like Hispanics, which is weird.
Okay. So what what is the difference between a light skinned black guy and a Hispanic?
I don't know. I just don't really like light-skinned black guys.
Do you think there's
I've never seen one of those.
you think there's like a personality that's associated with certain skin tones? Is that a stereotype? Like, how do you feel about that?
Like they're crazy. That's the rumor, is that they're crazy. And they sleep around.
Okay. And they can't go out in the summertime either, so that's unfortunate. They can only come out at night in the summertime, otherwise they'll start melting. Okay. So did you ever feel like you were judged or pressured or treated a certain way in school because of your skin tone?
No, just in that instance, but, with the one guy, but, like in my daily life, not really, because I grew up, or, I live around a lot of white people. So it's like, I'm black. Like it's not really like a tone thing with them.
Okay. Now, didn't you say that you went to a black school at one point in time? I want to make sure I'm not mistaken. Didn't you say like when you ended up going to black, like at the end of high school or something like that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so did you notice a difference in how you were treated going to that school as opposed to the school you were at prior to that?
It wasn't because of my skin tone. It was mainly because of the way I sounded. And, like, not trying to be funny or anything, but those guys were impoverished. Like, they were, like, really poor. Like, look, I was like, okay, so I had a cell phone, and I was, like, constantly, like, texting and talking to my friends. Like, on the way to, like, my classes, I'd be, like, talking and texting and whatever. And so, like, one day, this girl was like, oh, I don't really think you're on your phone. And I'm like, what? Like, why the fuck would I pretend, for you guys? And plus, my parents pay my overages, so really, like, that's not a problem for me. Like, why would I pretend to do that? Just so weird. But anyways, no, tone has never, ever was that, or, skin tone. No.
Okay. That's fucking funny. I don't I don't know if I've ever heard someone use that as a way to just describe a bunch of kids. I don't know. They were just impoverished.
Like, it wasn't that. It actually wasn't that bad. Like, like, what a minute restriction, like you guys, or not even with it.
Wow. That's crazy. I ain't mean to cut you off, but the situation. I don't know if you heard about that situation. Shout out to Prepaid Mike. The situation with the chick in Baton Rouge, the lady in Baton Rouge who had the African American Museum. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yeah, she was found in her car beaten.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'd seen some comments early on, and this is why I said we gotta. Even though we talk about race a lot here, it's really to open up a different angle of the conversation. I want people to see certain things, but it turned out that it was a lot of people. I bet it was somebody white because she had that museum. Well, it turns out it was someone who owed back rent, and they killed her because they didn't want to pay the back rent. Sex offender, and it was a black man. So there's that. I'm sorry to cut you off, but yeah, but it's terrible. It's terrible. Shout out to Prepaid though for sharing that. So the people were impoverished. So you say it wasn't really a skin tone thing. It was more of the way you talk, maybe the way that you spoke, and Was there anyone else that was similar, or did you recognize anybody else who kind of spoke properly or at that school, or was it just kind of everybody pretty much the same?
Yeah, there was a few kids
Do you think
that
that
actually went to the. Huh?
no, I was asking, did they get the same treatment kind of as you? Do you feel like they were kind of, I won't say ostracized, but treated differently because they spoke appropriately?
You know what? Like, those kids were posers. Like, they would talk, like, all that shit and act like, oh, yeah, I grew up, like, you know, like, try to act all hood, and they weren't.
Okay.
Like, this girl, like, she would act like, oh, okay, like, she sounded just like me. And, like, whenever we were by ourselves, you know, like, we would just sound like whatever. You know, she would sound just like me. But whenever she got in front of those kids, she would, like, act so crazy and start talking all hood and saying stuff that she never ever says. And then she would like go out stealing and stuff with those kids. And her mom, like, she was like adopted by rich people.
Kaepernick.
Like their house was like so dope. Her mom bought her like, you know, like she was stealing stuff she could have asked for. Anyways, that was just weird. That was a weird experience.
Yes, for those asked about the activists, yes, that was.
But back to the colorism thing, my best friend, like, she's Hispanic, and they do it too. Like, she was hiding her boyfriend because he was dark, like a Indian.
I see some folks in the chat having some questions. All right, what are these questions? I said there seems to be a question about ethnicity and some needs of pics and or video. There are allegations. See, this is what's wrong with y'all. See, this is what's wrong with y'all folks. When people calling, y'all did Dan the Man the same way. Y'all trying to do my girl Ashley the same way because someone calls in and they speak with appropriate vernacular. All of a sudden, they can't be black. Why is this? Why are we so judgmental? But y'all love that nigga Obama. Y'all was out on, you speak so proper, and look at him, he's appropriate. He went to Harvard. Y'all was claiming all of Obama's accolades, but then we get some folks calling into the den, y'all doubting the authenticity. I can't believe. I am so disappointed.
Wait a minute, what?
Yes, there's allegations that you may be a dolezal.
I might be an agent.
Yeah, that you're a Rachel Dolezal is what I've seen an accusation. They're claiming that you are not who you say you are.
What does that even mean? Why would I pretend?
That's what I'm trying to figure.
These guys?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Why?
These niggas? Yeah. I'm black. Like what?
Yes.
Like, I can't believe people don't think I am. Like, that's so weird. Based on my voice.
Yes. Based on the voice.
Oh my god. I'm black.
Yes. Yeah. For those who are asking, yeah.
Oh, I can send you a funny meme that I made.
Just send me the meme. I will check it out. I will confirm. As far as
you
I
can
know,
confirm
that's my knowledge
that I'm black.
That Miss Ashley is black. Okay. I believe that I can confirm that. Y'all just be false accusing. Y'all don't be wanting to hear it. But yeah, the woman who had the African American Museum in Baton Rouge was killed by a tenant who owed $1,200 in back rent, and apparently he didn't want to pay, so he put her in the trunk. And that's unfortunate. And again, this is why I say, we start running and looking for all these accusations elsewhere and everywhere else, but in reality, it's right there in front of your face. We want it to be something, we want it to be this, but most of the time it's that. And just, you got to be real about it. But when you say these things initially, people get mad at you for saying it, but it's like, if you've been around enough bullshit, come on, man, you gonna know what it is when you see the signs of it, but some people I think are more emotionally attached to things, or they go emotion first, or it may be 80% emotion, 20% logic, and they want it to be this so it can fit a narrative. I have no narrative. That's what I want y'all to know. I have no narrative. So when I say these things, it's experience, it's from what I've seen. So again, I know people may not always agree with what I say. but it is what it is. Just like I say, Miss Ashley is black, so y'all can stop hating with the nonsense. Now, DeMarque might be tentatively without a wrench here, so I've been seeing you low key capping DeMarque. I'm gonna take that wrench, beat you upside the head with it. Okay. So you said that you really haven't had those experiences with dating or with people around you, so you know that your skin hasn't really been an issue. It's been more the conversation. But have you seen that be an impact on other people? Maybe you were the bully. Maybe you were out there bullying the light-skinned girls. Were you the bully?
I wouldn't bully a lighter skinned girl, like based on what?
Okay. All right. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because it's not like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people would do that. I think it's just you have low self-esteem. Like, my parents didn't raise me to be like that.
I'm curious. What is sounding blackish? That's what I need. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Y'all talking about like code switching? Talking about pulling Obama. So in one area you speak a certain way, and then when you're around other people, then you gotta add the emphasis to it. Is that what we're talking about here? Because that's what I'm trying.
What, like your phone voice or what?
Nah, I'm trying to.
I mean, not your phone voice, your work voice.
The work voice, yes. Yeah, that's tough. But I'll say, you know, it is what it is. You know, people are gonna have their opinion. And you can't, you know, hey, everybody's entitled to have their opinion. That's what makes the den the den. I don't know. Let's see. Kenneth, I offered you a wrench twice, and you rejected my offer. So that'll be the last time. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Okay, so you're not a bully. You're not. So you would just say you wouldn't think that skin tone has had a big impact on your life at this point, or at all.
No, just like with some people you notice, like with this guy or the guy that has said that stuff to me. Like you could tell it affected him. But I grew up around around white people. And then the people in my family were like all different colors. Like there's light skinned people, but they never said anything. Actually, no, I did have a grandparent that was kind of like, didn't mess with dark skinned people. Okay. Yeah.
So, with a lot of these things, do you think it's more self-inflicted than outside of the community? Do you think it's more of us kind of putting these impressions on ourselves as opposed to people who may not be either in the black community? Because they'll say, you know, Hispanics do it and Asians do it. I want to mention that again for those who may have missed it. Asian people do it. There's different types of Asian. There's classy Asian. There's trashy Asian. You know, Hispanics do it. I've seen a lot of people, you know, I always say black folks are talking about negrito, but they talk about those darker skinned Hispanics. They call them negritos. Black people do it and different cultures do it. So I don't think it's just a black thing, but, you know, do you think it's more inflicted on us or do you think it's a symptom of the American culture?
I think it's just like white influence gets you to feeling that way, but I think a lot of it's in their head. Like maybe somebody said that, like, oh, you're so dark one day. But then again, it's like, if you thinking that girls are getting more attention because they're lighter complected, it could be that they have a better body, they aren't depressed like you know, or just have a bad outlook on the world, you know, like, it's not always because you're dark skinned. You could be not enjoyable to be around.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
You know, it's not necessarily because you're dark.
Okay. I mean, I think that's all I got. I don't know if I have anything else to add. Is there anything that you would like to add to the conversation, Miss Ashley?
Just that I don't think it's as bad as it was to now as it was like back then or like a long time ago. Colorism.
Do you think that has to do with like everybody kind of intermingling and mixing that now it's just everything is kind of more commonplace? Do you think that has something to do with it?
I mean, it could be, but it's, just like back then, like black people were just, separated basically, or you would have your own neighborhoods. So it's basically just something that was passed down through slavery, like envy of lighter skinned people because you think they were treated better. But they were also slaves, and then, you have people, now, of course they don't like dark skinned guys or gals because that's their preference, but I mean, you should be around people that want to be around you.
I agree. Go where you're treated best. No matter where that may be, you should always go where you're treated best. Okay, all right. Well, that's all I have, Miss Ashley. And I can't be reading these text messages. And I appreciate you for calling in.
All right.
All right, well, I appreciate it. I don't care what nobody say. Ashley is black and she's proud. Shout out to Miss Ashley.
I am black.
I agree. I'm just sending a shout out to all your haters. You know what I'm saying? I'm Team Ashley. I support her blackness, and y'all just don't want to see her winning. That's all it is. That's a bit. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right, you have a good one. Look, so y'all gotta understand, I ain't reading that. I'm not reading that. Why would I read that? See, that's why I tell y'all about Atlanta folks. They want you. That's why all that stuff is happening in Atlanta. That's happening because they want you to get on some questionable activity and say some questionable shit. That's why Atlanta is in ruins now. That's why it's slowly falling apart. I don't want nothing to do with that. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
This afternoon.
Oh, this afternoon? Yeah, goddammit. Habits. How you doing, Miss Bell?
I'm doing all right, Honcho. You know I had to call in on this one.
All right. Let's talk about it. What's on your mind? How do you feel about this topic?
I'm going to represent Caucasian/white community because it happens just as much in that community as it does other cultural communities. Yep, there is definitely a level of color shade even among the white community and the black community, whether it's Italian, whether it's French, whether it's Spanish. The darker the shade, even on Caucasians, I wouldn't say they get treated any better or worse, but there's definitely lines of demarcation. I don't really kind of know how that works because I never paid attention to it. But I just know that there is definitely cultural differences even among whites and Caucasians with that. What I would like to say, though, is over the years I've heard the term shade, which means giving somebody something negative, and the darker the shade, the more negative the comment is. And I'm wondering how that affects the African American community, because I've only ever heard it come from the African American community. So I'm wondering if it's something that promotes negativity among the culture.
I've heard the term shade, and I guess I've seen it used quite often. I've probably used it once or twice from hanging around with all these damn black people influencing my vernacular. But it's certain words I can't understand, but you be around it long enough, it's gonna happen. Throwing shade. I don't know. I always looked at it like, I guess maybe my visual of it is different. Throwing shade, I look at it like a umbrella or a tree or something, right? Blocking out sunlight. So I'm thinking of blocking out your shine or something. So you're trying to, prevent someone from, I don't know, I think of the sun. Sunlight is a good thing. So maybe it's like blocking out that your ability to receive something. I don't know. I never really, I guess, got that deep into it. I'm trying to come up with something off of my head. But I don't know. That's interesting. Somebody who...
I always thought it came across as a negative connotation, which meant you're throwing somebody under the bus or you're throwing somebody in a negative light. And so where the fact is we're talking about the darker the skin, the negative the light, which is it's a behavioral issue. Just as much as it is a skin issue, it's behavior. People, and this is a generalized statement, and it's not meant to offend anybody, but culturally, and I'm speaking only from the white community, is that the darker the skin, the more that we've been trained in order to have negative connotation and be able to, I shouldn't say allowed because it's never allowed to physically say or verbally say something that's negative about somebody else, but quote unquote, it becomes a pass, which is wrong. And I don't think it's right. I mean, my mom is extremely light and white skinned for Caucasian, and my dad during the summertime would have passed as African American after being out in the sun all summer, and he was Caucasian. So it's how people want to perceive things. Just like on the phone, we don't see Ashley, but there was a lot of presumption that she was white because she spoke XYZ proper English or educated English. That really is a presumption about all the listeners assuming that she's white.
Yeah.
And it happens a lot, I find, with people who are raised in northern states rather than southern states. The more cityfied or the more urban somebody is, most of the time, there's a lot more proper English. Not always, but sometimes. And it goes the other way around. The more country, the more laid back the conversation is, the more they sound different. So some of it's paying attention, and some of it's just culturally what we grew up around within our community, whether it was urban, suburban, or rural, and how we dialectically speak. Again, I call myself Southern style because I've been below the Mason-Dixon for 20 years, but being raised up north, I was taught proper because that's the home that I came up in. However, I have friends that talk like white trash, and we went to the same schools. So it's who you're being influenced by is how that all comes about, at least from my thought and opinion. And culturally, being white and going to a white school, part of my educational years, whites are harder on whites just like blacks are harder on blacks. The more diverse culturally the educational schooling system I went to, it was more about individual things, whether you were overweight, whether you were dark-skinned, whether you were light-skinned, whether you were just a plain jerk. It wasn't specifically geared towards any one thing. It broadened out the hate or the negativity. And honestly, people are going to like who they like. And there's always going to be what they call low-key people giving shade to somebody else because they're haters. And that's just life, and no matter what culture you're in, because people just don't want to see other people succeed, whether it's in relationships or whether it's in business.
Yeah, this is true.
And if you find somebody that you like, and your friends are like, well, he ain't no good for you, or she ain't no good for you, you got to kind of second question why they're giving you so much shade. Is it legit, or is it just the fact that misery loves company?
Yes.
And that happens a lot, whether it's female or male. So, got any other questions for me?
So I got one question, because you were talking about how the skin tone thing plays in the Caucasian community. What about tanning? Like, where does that come in, and where is that? Because it seems like there's a fascination with tanning, or even like I've seen like the spray on tanning booths or going to the pool and tan. Like, where does that play into it?
Okay. Technically, I have no personal opinion about it, but I do have an observation about it. I think on some level it's cultural appropriation. On some level, it's just what the fuck. And on some level, it's the fact that people feel better with having a little bit of color to their skin. Being extremely porcelain white in the wintertime like I am, I feel better when I've gotten a little bit of sun in the summer, but I look like a red lobster for at least the first day. Yep, and then it kind of fades out, and I got a little bit of color, and I'm feeling like, okay, yeah. You know, to me, it feels a little bit healthy having a little bit of color, because when you're paste white, you look like you're ill. And even if I'm going to make an assumption here, even very, very light-skinned black people look like they're deathly ill, or what's the word y'all use?
We catch some lag here.
And yep, ashy comes up a lot, and it's like by having a little bit of color. Now there are so many white people who have gone to extremes with it, with the tanning beds and everything else. However, I find it culturally appropriation, same, only different side of the coin with African Americans using hair, straight hair. It doesn't mean that. I think it's really cool, but it is cultural appropriation. And one of my best friends, who's a hairdresser, and she's African American, said that it was one of the things that to simulate to be able to get jobs in offices and administration, that for women to have straight hair was a way for it to become likeness. It didn't mean that they ever wanted to lose who they were, but sometimes you have to simulate in order to belong. We all want to be individuals, but people generally hire what they feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And so if there's a simulation that, ooh, this person, looks like us, whether she's thin, whether she's thick, whether she's dark-skinned, light-skinned, whether she's white, whether she's black, but she looks like she's among us, will have an easier time getting hired. Same thing with men. And most people within the first 30 seconds know either whether they're going to hire that person or whether or not they're going to get hired in interviews. And a lot of that's based on the connection that they make with the person that's interviewing with them. It doesn't always come down to what's on the paper for the resume. I've worked in business a long time to know that.
No, that makes sense. That absolutely does make sense, though.
And it doesn't always mean that the company hiring is, prejudiced, or it doesn't mean that they're not, because that does happen on both sides of the fence. Basically, it should come down to what's on a resume, but you also need to know that that person's going to click with the rest of the employees as well. So that's sort of where I have to go with it as far as corporate. But any other questions?
No, ma'am. Ms. Bella, I believe that's it.
All right, back to the boards, and have a great day.
All right, you too. I appreciate you for calling. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Look here, I know we got a few more minutes, but I got to take a quick Honcho hiatus. I've been killing some of this agua. Give me just a second, and we will be right back, and we'll get ready to finish up. I'll take one more call when I come back. So, dilly. And we gonna address this Ashley situation. Cause y'all giving my girl Ashley a hard time. I don't know who this Nicole Byer is. I'll check it out in just a second. We gonna talk about it just a second. All right. What I done missed? What y'all in here talking about? Let's see. Y'all in here. Let me see what y'all at. They're talking about cultural appropriation. Okay. That's an interesting thing. Let me phrase this properly. It don't sound odd. But my thing is this, all right? So y'all were making comments about Ashley and the way she speaks. Okay, what if Ashley is genuine? What if that's how she is? What if there's no code switching? Because you say, oh, we know people who speak proper, who do this and do that. But what if that's her being 100% genuine, who she is, comfortable in who she is, and not trying to switch and alter it up for anybody? So that's kind of what I'm thinking. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling in to the den this afternoon? This will be our last call for the evening. Who we got calling in?
Nah, this ain't gonna be the last call because I'm gonna be real quick.
Okay.
Come on, Honcho.
What's that?
Come on now.
What's that?
Can you not tell the difference between Miss Ashley's voice and Lady Licious' voice?
Yeah.
Then you know the difference because we all thought Lady Licious was black.
Look, Lady Licious is a unique case, okay? Because
So was Miss Ashley.
okay, but what I'm saying though is, well, why can't it be? But the thing is, when Miss Lady Licious said that she was white,
No, it's not. See, you using the wrong. It's not the fact that she speaks properly because a lot of people from California they speak properly, but you can still tell that they black. It's the tone of her voice that makes her sound more Caucasian than Negro.
this is
That's
tough.
just a fact.
But let's be honest. If Miss
She
Lady
sounds
Licious
like
wouldn't
a
have
Cali
said,
girl.
but if Miss Lady Licious wouldn't have said nothing, we'd all still be in Rachel Dolezal's out to this very day. If she wouldn't have said something, or there's been stories that she's told here and there that gave, a few clues, a few signals, yes. But outside, when she first called, maybe the first one or two times that she called, even after she said that she was white, it was people still in here refusing to believe that Miss Lady Licious was
And
white.
I'm one of them. I wholeheartedly admit that I'm one of them because that sound don't sound like it's coming from a Caucasian female. It's not normal.
Okay.
And you know the difference between come on, Honcho. When you speak your white guy voice, when you mimic white people, you know there's a certain tone that your voice has to reach to make it believable. And when a white person tries to mimic the voice of a black dude, there's a tone that their voice has to match.
Yes.
Come on now, it's all about the tone. It's not about the fact that she speaks proper English or she uses a lot of slang or whatever. It's just the tone. That's my call. I'm out.
Already. Shout out to Professor Trill, man. We'll take one more after that. It was a short call, so we'll take one more after that. But my thing is this, though, is the same way that we could believe Miss Lady Licious without anyone really seeing Miss Lady Licious except for the profile pic, is why can't we believe that Ashley's on the opposite end of the spectrum? She speaks appropriately. She has her own vernacular that she uses, and it's authentic to her. Miss Lady Licious, I believe, is authentic to her. Some people may not think it's authentic. Some people may believe whatever y'all can try to believe whatever y'all want to. But if she wouldn't have said nothing, we would have never known. And if Ashley would have said nothing, we would have never known. Y'all didn't want to believe Dan. Dan told y'all he had an afro and everything. Y'all wouldn't try to hear Dan the man. You know what I'm saying? And so all I'm saying is, why can't that person be what if that's what they say they are, why can't we take them at their word? Why not? Because I honestly feel that if there was some inauthenticity, I don't know if that's the proper terminology, but what Ashley was saying, there would be a little bit of hesitation when she would address certain things that she said, when it came to skin tone, when it came to the stories that she shared, when she came to describing herself, because there would be a thought process that would be required before she would say something. But the things are so fluid in the way that she says them, I believe that it's authentic. So that's all I'm saying, is that if it were something else, if it was someone playing a role, there would be slight hesitations. You would hear it when certain comments or certain things were said or being made, that you would hear these things. And that doesn't happen. It's purely fluid. It's pure conversation. So that's why I believe what I believe. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling into the den this afternoon?
What's good, Honcho? It's prepaid.
Already prepaid. What's on your mind this afternoon? How you feeling today?
Well, man, that message I sent you, I I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
When you and Roman said, I was like, shit, good. Glad somebody's thinking how I'm thinking. Because you know how you be thinking, you be like, damn, but I don't want to be that nigga who say that shit. Like, it was real negative. And I was like, man, let me not say that shit.
Yeah.
Let's just hope for the best. But it is what it is. Man, I think that the problem with the Ashleys and Dans, like how we stereotype people, I think that's the number one problem of being black. Being black is probably the hardest. It's probably the easiest thing it's supposed to be, but probably the hardest thing to be in America. Because it's not just your voice, your vernacular, colloquial. It's also your opinions.
Yes.
It's also the way you dress. It's also your hair. Bruh, I was at a board meeting. There was a chick who, she dates majority white men, okay? Her hair was extremely, like, different. You get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like how a traditional black woman wears her hair. So you know what everybody said?
What's that?
She a white girl. Look at how her hair is kept. Now, she black in the motherfucker. But because her hair is not kept in traditional, natural style, she's not black. If you're black, but then you have opinions that are not with the majority of black people, you're white. If you're a black man, and for some odd reason you date a non-black woman, you are white.
Getting the boot, you got the community.
You are white. Until recently, if you was black and your pants was not sagging and your shirt was tucked in, you pretty much wasn't black neither. That's just kind of how it's viewed. Like you can be from the heart of the hood. If you wore glasses tucked in your shirt, didn't sag, and enunciated your words, you was white. And that's the craziest part to me. But that's it. So the actual colorism of light skin, dark skin, fair skin, dark, that shit is just, it's to the point where you ain't gonna never be able to save, we ain't gonna never be able to save each other from that shit. We can't even decide who is black in the black community. But then we have the flip side of it where, me being Republican, I'm white. But we have openly armed accepted the Sean Kings and the Colin Kaepernicks.
Yes.
Shit, Rachel Dollars almost got away. If it wouldn't have been for those pesky-ass kids, she was almost out of there. She almost had them. We would gladly accept those, but we'll not accept our own. And that is the craziest part to me.
Man, it's facts. It's 100% true.
That's the head scratcher when you're a black man, but you look white. You cut your hair down low, and then they ask you, is your daddy black? And you say, my mom slept with a black man. What in the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Or you got your man out here with this big ass Afro Thunder Afro trying to be black. Like, that's the shit that blows my mind. Like, it's black is black. You know what I'm saying? Like, white is, I've never heard a white person, another white person. Man, you like Adidas? You're not really white. Like, bro, you really like the Rockets? You're not really white. Like, you supposed to be a Mavericks fan. You don't hear shit like that. Like, it's mind-boggling to me. It really is a head scratcher to me. I can sit back and I'm like, whew, this is rough.
Yeah.
This is rough. And then I think the craziest part of it all, and I ain't gonna hold you long, but the craziest part of it all is that being black in America, you can't be anything else. Like, we just can't go blend with nobody. You can't go hang. You can hang with the Spanish, but you don't speak Spanish, so they're gonna alleviate that. You gonna get, that's done with. You can have all the education in the world, and you're just not gonna be white because that's just impossible. So to me, it's kind of mind-boggling how we will separate each other when in reality we can't go no fucking where else. This is it. A nigga's a nigga. Like, me and Miss Bell could be best friends. They not finna walk in the room and think that we brother and sister.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lady Licious sounds like a black person 9 times out of 10 on every last phone call. If me and Lady Licious go to the store, they gonna say that black man was walking with that white woman. It just is what it is. It's crazy. So that's it for me. You got any questions for me, Honcho?
Man, no sir. I think you laid it down clearly and concisely.
Okay. And before I go, there are more Dans and Ashley in the world than y'all realize it. Y'all just have interactions with people. I'm around them every day. People they just speak proper, y'all. Like, it is what it is. That's just, their parents probably spoke that same way when they went to school and they spoke that way. There's nothing wrong with it, It just is what it is, man. Y'all be blessed.
No, I really appreciate the call, Prepaid. And I agree, man. And that's really all it is to any man. Shout out to Prepaid. Prepaid always come with the fire calls, man. And and he just laid it down, that simply. And that is where we got to get to, because that's kind of some of the things I was trying to hint on earlier without just necessarily saying it. That everybody who called in, especially when they talk about their personal issues, even when Trill called in and talked more about preferences, when it came to this whole colorism conversation, it was like how we do ourselves, how we view ourselves in comparison to everything else. And just like he said, there is no going anywhere else, but we'll kick each other out. You Black Republican? Nah, you ain't you fucking with them white folks. Ashley speaks appropriately. You fucking with them white folks. You don't have this element or that element, but then if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, man, you know, all you black people will say, oh, don't say that," but we tell each other we have to be the same. You know what I'm saying? And all right, Miss Shannon. And we'll tell each other, oh, well, if you act different, well, you ain't black. But then when somebody outside the culture says, oh, all you black and black the same, people get mad about that. And that's all I'm trying to say is that there are differences. We all have differences. We've been here long enough to that. We've all been exposed to various things. And we need to embrace all of it. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to have more options, more opportunities for your children, for the future of the race or whatever else it may be, we have to embrace everything. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit, but I can't. Look, I can put all the Snoop Dogg makeup on I want to. They ain't finna buy me as no white person. But what I'm saying is this, that ultimately, because like I say, when we talked about the other day, the Kamala basically had a lot of Republican views prior to running, but then she just said she's a Democrat. Now everybody's embracing her and accepting her. You know, you talk about people like Ben Carson and I was talking about this other, Ben Carson and Herman Cain. Black people, Republicans have done well for themselves, but because they don't believe or support the same, they not black, they white. What does that have to do with it? We talk about we don't get the stories of black people doing great things. We're talking about a neurosurgeon who came up out of the projects just like anybody else, but we don't want to talk about these people because they don't fit the narrative that we're applying to ourselves. So that's part of the problem. Is that we want to pick and choose what we want to embrace. We want a motherfucker to do some shit but still be cool. You know, we can talk about Jay-Z possibly being a billionaire. There's some caveats to that, but because it looked good on the cover of Forbes, when I want to say Robert Smith was on the cover of Forbes like 2015. Like, but nobody knows that, right? Jay-Z on the cover of Forbes, I don't even know if he was on the cover. I think he was in a Forbes magazine, right? I don't think he was on the cover. I can't remember, but I know he was in the Forbes magazine. Everybody want to run around and talk about Jay-Z and, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. This is, oh man, you know, a rapper that made it. But Robert Smith was in that bitch 4 or 5 years ago. Nobody even knew who he was. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. And it's like, the thing about this is, come on, man. And it don't even matter if he came from the projects or not. I don't care about the story. Is he a neurosurgeon? That's all I want to know. Is he black? Is he a neurosurgeon? That's what's most important to me. All right, we'll take this. We'll make this one last call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling in to the den this afternoon?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me? I'm in my vehicle.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm in my car.
Yes.
Okay. This is T. Charlotte. I wanted to just call in on. I'm sorry about that. I wanted to just call in on this topic. I just have 3 points. Okay. The first thing is the way that you speak, I think, just has a lot to do with your environment and also your education level. Because usually, if you grew up in a more middle or upper class environment, you typically are going to be surrounded by people who are of that same socioeconomic status. Obviously, you're just going to speak differently. Just the environment, that's just how it is. And if you grew up in a low-income community, you're bound to pick up, some of that vernacular and that way of life, that culture, is slang. It's just the way that it is. But also, if you're, achieve a higher level of education, typically, just increases your vocabulary. you'll be in a more professional environment, and it'll just put you automatically like in that mind frame, talk that way. So I just don't think it really has anything to do with race per se, but automatically just based on your race, people stereotyping you just automatically expect you to speak a certain way. Because I get it all the time, especially when I'm on the phone with somebody versus when they see me. They always, think differently, especially because of my name. They always expect me to either be white or Latina. Secondly, and I'm a Black woman, dark-skinned Black woman. So that brings me to my second point. Like coming up, like for me, like just coming up period, just in my family, like the first time, I'm really trying to think hard about this, but I want to say the very first time that I was actually told that I was beautiful from anyone, because your mom, your grandma, they always gonna tell you that. But anybody outside of that, it was people of other races. Tell me how beautiful my skin was, how beautiful my color was, how smooth and pretty it was. It was always white people, Mexican people, people of other races. Never anybody Black ever told me that. And so
that's sad.
When you it's very sad. And for a long time, when I was a young woman, that really affected my self-esteem. So I had to actually, just build that up over the years as I came into adulthood. And I just had to realize that I was beautiful. But that came with, soul searching, self-reflection, self-assessment, and just establishing my own standard of beauty, and not comparing myself to others or listening to the things that other people were telling me. But most of that negativity was coming from people, I'm not going to say most, all of it was coming from other people in my community, family members and people who look just like me. And that deep-rooted state of self-hate. It's not a one issue. That's a multi-layered problem in the Black community. But I had to overcome that with age, which is really sad. That should not be. And a lot of times, when negative things are happening, there's always, pointing of the fingers to some external cause. But a lot of that shit is just internal. Thirdly, that's very disgusting to hear that woman who was a pillar in her community, providing housing, business owner, and, just being an activist and trying to actually clean up her community was done like that over $1,200.
Yeah, that's pathetic.
That is crazy. But this is why I truly believe that you have to move the fuck away from those people. You cannot help them because they don't want to be helped.
So you're saying you got to look out for number one and quit trying to save everybody?
Hell yeah. Get the fuck away from those people because they're just going to take from you. If they're not stealing from you or taking from you or trying to bring you down with unnecessary drama and negativity, they're going to do something like that to you. That woman was stuffed in the trunk of her car. It's ridiculous. Over $1,200 funky dollars, that's change.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous and disgusting. I'm still trying to process that. But anyway, I know that this was the end of the stream, so I have to run anyway. Did you have any questions for me at all before I got the line?
No, that's all I got. I appreciate you calling in and sharing your perspective. It was enlightening. Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, bye. All right, we'll do that like that. Here's my thing. I just saw that text message. Hey, let them believe what folks believe. You got to know the truth for yourself. Let's talk about it, man. And let me do my Jerry Springer wind down here real quick. So, hold on one second. But my thing is this, man. And that last call actually added a few elements to it. I find that very interesting. One, I'm a firm believer you can't help anybody that doesn't want to help themselves. And I hate to sound like that dude, but it's the fucking truth. And this is from being of one mind frame. And that's why a lot of people come in, they argue and disagree with me. Oh, this, you don't know this. Man, look, I tell you, I give y'all a small percentage of myself. There's only so much that I'm going to talk about and share here on the internet for the whole wide world to dissect and get into and discuss. But like I told you, I was of a different mind frame. I'm of a new mind frame. And it's I won't say new, it's been over the last few years. And as I learn more, I grow and improve. So I'm telling you from a man who has been in the shoes of a person who thought a certain way, who operated a certain way, and then seeing how things really are and altering my perspective. And, you know, what's funny is the video the other day did about the pro-black video. Some people came in and say, well, you'll see when your son gets shot by these race soldiers and all this other stuff. Let me tell you something, man. Do you know that in all the things that I've said, done, my life, period, point blank, the only people who have ever threatened me, it's always people who look like me. You know what I'm saying? It's always people who, because I don't fall in line with the black belief, and this is going back to why we're saying that when Prepay said, you know, we kick motherfuckers out the community if if they're not saying the same shit as we are. And it's sad because I don't look at stuff the same way you looking at it, because one, I've had these experiences, and a lot of times it's these people who've never been out there. You got a lot of these intellectuals who hear a lot of shit, who have a lot of hypotheticals, who live their vicarious victims through other people's issues and situations, and they feel like they know it. Man, I've been on some frontline shit and doing tomfoolery, kicking it with the wolves and the sharks, and you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's not what it is, and just to leave it at that. And so my problem is I know the mentality of these people, and it's a lot of these people, to go to what T'Challa said, is people who are trying to save certain people. You cannot save them. You cannot save them because they don't want to be saved. It's niggas who look just like you. While we talking all this rah-rah, we getting oppressed and getting beat down, and the cops are shooting. Man, there's some of them niggas who don't give a fuck about what you preaching. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about the police. They don't give a fuck about nothing that's going on but filling their motherfucking pocket. They don't give a damn about nothing. You are prey to these people, but y'all don't want to hear. Y'all, it's like the sheep trying to go out into the forest or whatever and bring the wolves to the farm, and hey, we gonna look out for you. Here, go in there and stay in the chicken coop or whatever the fuck you want to call it, man. And it's just like, y'all got to understand. Everybody, I hear it to it. People say when I say certain things, your skin folk ain't your kinfolk. That's cool with me, because there's some motherfuckers I don't want to be affiliated with. You know what I'm saying? And so all I'm telling you is, if I know associating with a certain crowd is going to improve the life of me, my family, and like-minded people who buy into those beliefs, then that's where I'm finna lean with. I'm not finna go and, if a person has been doing something the majority of their life and that shit has not been working, and I'm not talking about jump sides and switch teams and be disloyal or anything like that, but if you've been doing something for so long and it's not working, you're not seeing the improvements in life, you're willing to settle for certain shit, but the opportunity is there, but you don't take it because you just got to be in this whatever belief, man, fuck that, man. Look, I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of people that disagree that ain't never, a lot of people that disagree that are upset with certain things that are being said around here. And I'm not saying y'all in particular, I'm just saying various people. I get messages from people, I get comments, or I'm disappointed in you I don't give a fuck about you being disappointed. Like, because ultimately when it comes down to it, I still got to live my life. Okay? And my opinions aren't going to change anybody else's life. You're either going to agree or you're not going to agree. And that's just that. And people don't, there's this emotional connection. Man, let me tell you something. When I went through this transition, I don't know, because I see it when we say a lot of stuff in here. When certain people say certain things, a lot of people kind of get upset. Oh, I don't want to hear that. And they start name calling. And some of you fellas do more name calling than the ladies, but I ain't gonna say nothing. The ladies just, it's understood. But man, when I read certain information, when I saw certain things, when I looked at certain stuff, I watched certain things, and I obtained certain information, the shit was not easy. Do you think I just saw someone there? Oh, this makes sense now. No. You had to be open-minded, had to look at this shit and say, man, damn. I don't want to believe that shit, but damn, if I can believe this source for this news, why can't I believe this source for this news? Or, you got to break down multiple. Well, it's a lot of different sources saying this. It's a lot of different, information coming out, but from different places, but it's all kind of saying the same thing. Okay, well, let's look at somebody independent that has nothing to do with it. It's not leaning any particular side. Damn, this is fucked up. Damn, this is going, okay, well, let me think about my own personal experiences. Yep, I can say this, I can say that, I can say this. Well, fuck, why is that? Looking at family history, looking at people around you, it does not feel good to recalibrate your thinking. It's a painful thing because it's just like, damn, this is fucked up. I've always thought about these people a certain way. I've always vibed a certain way with these people. But in reality, certain motherfuckers don't have your best intentions at heart. They want you for what they can get the fuck up out of you. And once you're no longer relevant, they're going to cast you aside. They're going to throw you aside. And it's always easier to look at the other side. Well, look what they doing over there. Look what they doing over there. The whole time you're looking at pointing somebody who may be saying something negative to your face. The motherfuckers who look just like you stabbing you in your motherfucking back. Like, that's why I say I look at everybody equal. It don't matter if you black, white, green, gray, purple, orange, whatever your thing is. I look at you the same. There is no, the racial filter will not determine if I like you more or like you less. Because I done had fucked up people. I'd had people look just like me do the most fucked up shit. I'd had people who look nothing like me do the biggest favors in the world. But that doesn't mean I like them anymore for this or I like them any less of that. It's just that people are people and people have traits that you just have to be cautious. And I think everything is an individual situation and you have to play it like so. I've had, look, trust me, I ain't finna get into all the details and shit like that. But let's just, we're gonna wrap it up here, man. I got a couple things to do. And we will be back live at 10 tonight. More than likely. If anything changes, I'll let y'all know. But it just is what it is. Exactly, man. And that's exactly what people, man, get with the winners, man. You notice it's certain people who aren't complaining about certain problems. And it ain't because, they didn't got indoctrinated, or they didn't got, because the experience, nobody's going to continue to root for something if it's doing them a disservice. You feel me? And so that's what people got to understand. And that's what people got to realize, man. And that comes with experience. That comes with, understanding. But either way it goes, man, I love all y'all, regardless. I fuck with all y'all, even if I don't even know you like that. I fuck with y'all. Y'all ain't done nothing bad to me. Y'all have not physically harmed or threatened me. And if you supporting this community, I fuck with y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I rock. And again, it's a couple of y'all cats. I don't know. Y'all don't be in here like that. Y'all be talking some nonsense, some tomfoolery. But hopefully y'all linger in this bitch long enough. Y'all pick up something and it works out. So I'm gone, man. I'm finna steal a couple of pistachios. Shout out to everybody who come. Man, great calls, man. Today was a great calls. I want to say the education yesterday. Great calls. What the hell we talked about last night? It was some good calls last night. I think we got a little off track a little bit last night. But it's been some great calls, man, as of late. So shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to the stenographer for holding it down. Shout out to everybody who, shout out to Sweetberry. Shout out to Sweetberry who got everybody hooked up with some stachios. So, I know it was pressure, but I appreciate you. But with that being said, man, hey, I'm cool like y'all be cool, man. I'm not reading that shit, Miss Meat. You know what? I'm gone. Not they gonna read that tomfoolery. See, that's that Atlanta shit. Miss Mitt be on. She be hanging out with them AT aliens. That's why AT alien. That's what they call it. That. See, y'all ain't even people that Outkast was trying to tell y'all way back. You know what I'm saying? Them AT aliens. And that's what she over there. That's what she over there rocking with. I ain't finna say that questionable shit. Let me get out of here, man. Let me get my little ass workout in and get some things done and try to drop some recorded content. I figured out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna record the content. I think I'm gonna keep it with the profanity, but I'm just going to beep it out and then I'll have, like I say, I'll make the unedited version available on a different platform. So, but with that being said, I'm gone, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out.